Hi YouTube, my name is Muhammad Ali, also known as Mo Motion. So thank you for all the likes on my little short that I made of my, my law school admission recap. And so I want to talk to you a little bit about, what goes into that process and what were my stats and all that fun stuff. So first things first is that it's a hard process. It's you have to give yourself patience. It's in the long and annoying and rigorous process, but we all have to go through it if you want to go to law school. So first things first is you want to make sure you have your LSAT done, your personal statements done, diversity statements done, any addendums you have, and yeah. So you want to have all that done. You want to take your LSAT. That's like probably the most important thing. Have your school send your transcript to LSAC, the Law School Admission Council, and so you want to have like all those materials, right? And in terms of like stats of how that works within the law schools is, so you have a median of your LSAT and the median of a GPA. So the median for the LSAT is a 50th percentile. And so schools also, like, they report 25th, 50th, and 75th percentiles for each of their LSAT and GPA. But the GPA you're applying with on your transcript is not going to be your GPA that you're actually applying with. I know, it sounds weird. So what happens is when you submit your transcript to LSAC, they actually recalculate it in a way where it's uniform for all universities in America. So basically they have a formula where, let's say whether your college is just pass fail, or where my college they have letter grades, or your college has like number grades. They did it in a way where systematically it works for all schools in America. So that's why they recalculate your GPA when you submit your transcript. My GPA was a 4.0. That was my LSAC GPA. And my law school admission test score was not the best. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say it. I just prefer not to say it. But it was not the best score. It was pretty low, honestly. But which means that I was a reverse splitter. A reverse splitter is someone who is either above one median and below the other median, or vice versa. So for me personally, I was always below the median for an LSAT, but I was always higher than the median in terms of GPA. So I was in a unique situation where, that kind of works out for me with some schools. As you saw through my shorts, like which schools I got accepted to. I will be going to Pace University Elizabeth Hobbs School of Law. So, I just turned to work out in my favor. As for my personal statement, I wrote about, being a first generation Palestinian American, how I always had to overcome the challenges that I was given as a minority in America. And I also wrote a diversity statement about doing the small pilgrimage in Islam known as Umrah or Umrah. I wrote a diversity statement on that. That was like a page long. My personal statement was, I want to say 2.25 pages. About so like it wasn't 3 full pages. But it was like about 2.25. So it gets spilled through a little bit on the third page. But that was this. You had to keep revising. Like, give yourself like a month to work on your personal statement, because you are gonna want to change it so many times. I can tell you that much. Get your letter of recommendations early. Ask for them early. Always ask for them like the semester before you're gonna apply to law school. That way You're giving your recommenders so much time to write these letters because, trust me, they are going to forget. They have lives outside of your recommendation. They are going to probably be doing research if you're asking professors. They're probably going to be doing work if you're asking your bosses. So, always ask at least a semester before you're going to apply to law school. Which means like 5 to 6 months. And, I personally asked, I asked them if they could write it my spring semester of junior year. So by the time I was applying in the fall, I had all my recommendations in already. So that gave them like all summer to write my recommendation for me. Write the recommendation for me. And so, we want to give your recommenders a lot of time, and it's just a very rigorous process. I'm not gonna lie, I took the LSAT 3 times. The LSAT is no joke. That's like the worst part of the whole process. For me personally, that's what it was. I don't struggle with writing. I had a really good GPA. I worked part-time as a paralegal. Still do. But I still am considered KGD, which means kindergarten to Juris Doctor, which means that since kindergarten all the way until applying to the Juris Doctor, the JD degree that you get in law school, I took 0 gap years for work. Yeah. I did graduate a semester early. I was part of a few clubs. I was part of my county's bar membership. I opened my own club. I TA'd. So on top of all that, it really helps. I personally have my resume at 2 pages. Some people may say that's crazy or whatever, that's outlandish. But, I feel like, for me personally, I feel like everything I included in there was essential to show the admissions committee of what I am capable of, especially because I have to really, really rely on my heavy GPA, especially considering I had a very low LSAT. So, yeah, that's like I think like the way you want to think about it is you have to kind of weigh out your strengths and your weaknesses in your application. Like, don't forget, it's a very holistic view of your application. Like, I genuinely believe that, like, just based on my numbers alone, just my LSAT and my GPA, I would not have gotten into any law school because of my LSAT. But because I feel like it's because the way I wrote my personal statement, the way I wrote my diversity statement, the way I wrote my resume, or the way I formatted my resume at least, really helped convince admissions committee that I want to be there, that I want to go. I also do any optional essay that the school offers, like why X law school, why do you want to go to this law school. I personally didn't do those because none of the schools I applied to asked for them. But some schools have like different rules for their personal statements. Like one of the schools I did had like a 500 word limit, which was way below the word count I had already had my personal statement at. So I had to basically redo my entire personal statement. It was, you want to be like very attentive to which schools you're applying to and look at the directions. Like right when you open the application thing, it has instructions. Read those instructions. It's gonna be important to your application. Those are some tips I have for you going to law school. My personal experience, my personal statistics, and rock on. You will get to law school one day, just like I did. Trust me, even though I feel like I should probably not have been accepted into law school, I did by God's grace, by Allah's grace. I'm Muslim, so I believe in Allah. But yeah, so it's really, don't shoot yourself down, like don't put yourself down just because you either have like a low GPA or a low LSAT. Like, trust me, I beat the odds when it came to admissions. I feel like just because of the way I formatted my entire application, it made it seem like I really want to be there. I really want to advocate for others, So yeah, that's all I have to say today. I hope you like, subscribe, and comment down below. Whatever you comment about down below, whatever you like to see on my channel. If you would like me to read my personal diversity statements, I would like to share that with you if you guys are willing to listen to that. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day, night, whenever you're watching this. Thank you.